Early voting begins today in Queensland. It's less than 2 weeks out from the state election. Let's bring in the state political editor at the Courier Mail, Hayden Johnson. Hayden, what a massive fortnight ahead. Give us a sense of where things are at. We've been hearing various announcements, but if you can give our viewers a sense of the political view right now in terms of the momentum and where the policies are heading.
Yeah, hey Kieran, it has been all the LNP for the last couple of years. The polls are pointing to a Labor wipeout in Queensland, but this campaign in the past 2 weeks, there has been a little bit of momentum from Labor. Stephen Miles has been doing his absolute best. We had a $1.4 billion free school lunches announcement on the weekend. Economists aren't impressed with it. They say it's just a gimmick, but it really has turned the momentum towards Labor. People inside Labor are telling me that although it's not enough to shift the dial, it is pushing it. It's making voters reconsider, giving David Crisafulli and the LNP a massive margin, but there still looks like there's some work to do for Labor. It's still looking like a LNP government come October 27.
Yes, and I find it fascinating to look at this because they're throwing everything at it, aren't they, Miles? And then you're seeing reports today suggesting that some of the Labor Party figures white anti-Anastasia Palaszczuk a bit and her legacy, saying she could have left earlier and given him a better chance.
Yeah, absolutely. We had the former Premier, Peter Beattie, Labor's longest serving Queensland Premier. He came out yesterday at the Labor launch and basically said that Stephen Miles needed more time, that the 10 months that he's had in the top job wasn't enough. There is a growing sense, and there has been for quite some time, Kieran, that Anastasia Palaszczuk just held on too long. Stephen Miles has worked hard. He says that he's a new Premier, it's a new government, but 10 months just isn't enough, I don't think, for Queenslanders to really get to know him and for him to really stamp his authority on the government. So I don't know if it's sort of private white anting. It's pretty public. Peter Beattie and obviously
it is, isn't it?
Miles'
yeah, true.
union boss, Gary Bullock, was coming out saying, yeah, it's just not enough time. She should have gone earlier.
Yeah, that's a good point. It wasn't done privately, was it? It was done very publicly, and I look forward to seeing the public response from Anastasia Palaszczuk on our election night panel, which is going to be must-watch viewing on election night. We've got the People's Forum next week, the Sky News Courier Mail People's Forum as well, and that's shaping as the last roll of the dice, isn't it, for Miles? That is the last major set piece where they're going to be face-to-face, Hayden.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They had the debate just a few days into the campaign a few weeks ago. They've got another one at the Media Club on Wednesday, but you're absolutely right, Kieran. It will be the last chance for Miles to put the questions to Crisafulli and Crisafulli to put the questions to Miles. Both of them are standing up every day, criticising each other's policies. So it should be some pretty explosive viewing, I think, as they get together and they go before our undecided voters. It is their last chance. There's more riding on it for Stephen Miles. He needs to convince as many people as possible that he deserves a mandate in his own right.
Yeah, indeed. And this room full of undecided voters that are chosen independently of both Sky News and the Courier Mail, I wonder where they're going to go with their own questions. We don't get to script or ask them what they're asking. They ask what they want. Where do you think these voters will go? What are the issues that are really underpinning people's concerns right now, Hayden?
Yeah, I think, Karen, we'll see probably the big four. We'll see health, housing, cost of living and crime. They seem to be the issues that have dominated the campaign and dominated public discourse for quite some time. But what I really love about these undecided voters and the ones that we're running in the Courier Mail most weeks as well is they have their own nuanced approaches. So we've seen questions that readers want us to put to the leaders. Some of them have been around coal royalties. There's been a lot on the Bruce Highway. So Queensland's one of those fascinating states where we're so large, and for every person, every community, every pocket, there's an issue that's different, that's important to them. So I don't think we'll see anything more beyond the blanket themes, those four themes. But there is some quite there's an opportunity for some quite hairy, prickly questions coming from voters.
Indeed, and that is tomorrow week, a week from tomorrow, Hayden. I look forward to seeing you in Brisbane for that, the Sky News Courier Mail People's Forum. Make sure you join us. As I said, it's a week from tomorrow in the final build-up to Election Day on Saturday week. Hayden, thank you very much for that.